Hi, good evening. I'd like to call to order the regularly scheduled December meeting of the Haymarket Planning Commission. Roll call, please.
Kathy?
Here.
Casanello? Connell?
Here.
M. Carroll?
Here.
J. Carroll?
Here.
Shannon?
Here. All right, if we could all please stand for a pledge of allegiance and for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And as we have observed the moment of silence, let's remember the Amtrak train crash and those folks who lost their lives and injured. All right, thank you. All right, well, again, good evening. Good to see everybody. Let's take a minute to go through the minutes. Approval of our November 1, 2017 minutes, please. All right, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented here?
There's a typo, I just want to say on page 3, under 2, a Dog's Day Out discussion, it's the last sentence of the first paragraph there. A Dog's Day Out business is that a caretaker will be staying there as a resident full-time caring for the dogs, not carrying.
Yeah.
Caring. Okay. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, other than I agree with that, but I make a motion that we approve the minutes, the Town of Haymarket Planning Commission, our regular meeting minutes from Wednesday, November 1st, 2017.
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion other than correcting the spelling? Always helps to have a principal English major on staff here. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. All right, all in favor accepting the minutes with the spelling corrected there on page 3, item 2, last sentence. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. All right, citizens' time. Anybody would like to address the Planning Commission, please come to the podium. State your name and your address. All right, seeing none, we will close citizens' time. All right, new business over on page 5. We need to appoint a PC Commissioner to the Architectural Review Board as the liaison for the Planning Commission. Since Mr. Shannon is now on the Town Council and is the liaison to this board. So do we have a volunteer?
You're up, Mr. Commissioner Panthy.
I might have a little bit issue for the scheduling wise because, normally what day they have meeting?
For the ARB is the third Wednesday, and they're usually not that long. Usually. The couple I attended, they were less than 40 minutes.
Okay.
It just depends on the amount of, folks coming forward with things with their houses, permits and stuff like that. But it would just be a matter of you really briefing them on what we're doing in case there's any questions or whatever, just to give them a kind of a lowdown of what we're doing. It's not that time consuming, but it is important
Yeah.
because of us working with the ARB as we do.
I will hold out at the moment. I would like to see my schedule stuff.
Chairman, the next meeting for the ARB is January 17th, so you guys will have another meeting before then if some of you might need to think about it.
So
Or
we could, excuse
So
me,
if you need
we
to-
could table that to the meeting, and that way Kathy would be here as
Yes.
well, and maybe something she may be interested. All right, if that's okay with you all, then we'll postpone. If you could get your schedule out and take a look at that. Hopefully we'll be at full strength on the 3rd, and then,
I might say we already have commitments from February through June for the middle of the month onward,
okay,
so neither of us would be
Right.
available.
We could vote Kathy since she's not here.
No.
but that-
I don't think we do that.
I'm just kidding. I would never do that. I would never do that.
I would squash that one.
If she's watching me, I'm just kidding, Kathy.
You know where he lives, right? All right, well, let's go ahead then, and we'll just push this back to our regular scheduled meeting, which will be again on the 3rd. So, ma'am, if you could just put that on for the 3rd. Mr. Panther, if you'll check your schedule, and then we'll see what Kathy says as well. All right, moving on. So we got that accomplished partially. All right, old business. We have a Dogs Day Out, previous meetings informational report. So it's my understanding from the town planner that we will be doing a public hearing on the 3rd in conjunction with several rezoning applications. So rather than take a lot of time tonight, there is a synopsis found on page 6, packet page 6. I'm sure you guys have read through it. Basically, some question and answers, if you will, that we've talked about before. So does anything jump out at you all?
First of all, thank you for going through these, Emily. Was there anything that you found prior to July of 2016? Because this does predate this date.
I started looking at the July where the rezoning came up. I can go back and look prior to that before our next meeting, but I mainly looked at July 2016 through.
Okay.
So I'll see what I can find if there's more.
Yeah, it does. Do you remember what the first time you presented to this commission?
Introduce ourselves properly.
Ma'am, if you don't mind just coming up here for the recording, please.
And just hit the push and it'll light up for you. You might have to hold it a second.
Andrea Payne, 6680 Fayette Street. The first time I think that we came and approached the Planning Commission was probably April of 2016. We had our rezoning hearing in July. And then the following day, we had basically an emergency meeting to kind of address what occurred in the rezoning meeting. And that's where we presented the PowerPoint deck and kind of talked about all the remediation for the issues and concerns that were brought up during the public hearing.
Thank you. I will just comment, Mr. Chairman, that I was one who had made the comment, and going back and looking at these, I did some research too, and pretty much what Emily said, and of course, I'm almost 65 years old. But my memory was kind of failed me somewhat, if you would, because I thought that we had talked about that this was only going to be, as far as boarding, a couple of nights, throughout the year. And that was not what was stated by the owners as well as some of us. I know I had made the comment on this one bullet. Andrea said she could keep 75 dogs overnight if needed to, and I asked her how often. She said that would be maybe happen 2 weeks a year, but she was talking about through Christmas and when people are on vacations. So I kind of misspoke at that last one. I'm going back again, reading everything and looking at some of the videos myself. It just wasn't clear in my mind. So I kind of misspoke when I said that I thought it was only going to be a couple of nights a year. I was incorrect.
All right. I mean, I appreciate that. At the same time, I mean, this has spanned 2 different zoning text amendments, multiple planners. So it's unfortunately one of those applications that has not been seamless, shall we say.
Correct.
So I think everybody's doing their due diligence, and thank you again, ma'am, for going back. Any other comments? Because I really don't want to get into it too much because we're going to have a public hearing. And we will also, let me double check here. Well, the public hearing for this will be our next meeting. So any other items that, again, I don't want to get into really in-depth. I mean, it's all here in writing, the transcript.
My understanding was in the beginning there was a employee will stay there. Now, is somebody else also can?
Jim Payne, 6680 Fayette Street. We would like it to be employed since we haven't opened yet, obviously. But that person that stays there will have duties. And yes, we would like best for it to be the groomer. We would love that to happen. We don't want to state that it's going to be someone that is full-time employed there. They might be part-time and just have responsibilities at night to let us know if there's an incident.
Main concern is, like, down the road, if you sold the business and somebody else take that, and it will, create the issue if other people will stay there other than employee.
Well, if we were to sell the business or whatever, then whoever would take it doesn't have to have an employee. They don't have to use the apartment. They could repurpose the apartment for something else. It's not nothing that has to go with a new owner or whatnot. Whatever business might happen to come in, and knock on wood that that doesn't happen.
Well, the one thing that's changed since when we met that other night was that night you had stated that that person may not be an employee, and it's my understanding now that that person would be an employee, maybe part-time, but they would in fact be an employee and not just a renter.
They would not be paying rent.
No, they're not a renter. They're not a renter.
Would there be any other night staff, do you anticipate?
No, just the one person, the dogs aren't going out at night or anything, we don't
Might be
facility
you
for.
or I, if someone is not
Right.
available.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possible.
Okay.
That person would be the only person living in that apartment.
Correct.
So even though that person was on vacation in Cape Cod, you would not be staying there. You'd be, what, on call?
It's possible we'll have cameras. If one of us has to stay there, we probably would be staying in an apartment because we might have to stay in a sleeping bag or something, but, yeah, in the office. But no one else, we're not, this is not a sublet type thing or anything. We don't want people, and I mean, they're your dogs, they're very important to you and to us. We don't want anybody there.
I think the key thing that I heard was it would not be a rented apartment.
No.
It would be
No.
associated with an employee.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
just-
think
just for
those
the
were
business.
key things for me to
It's
hear.
for the business, it's to differentiate us from, say, a different place that closes the door at 9 o'clock and opens the door back up at 6 or 7, and hopefully all the dogs are fine.
And the apartment was moved upstairs due
Right.
to the ARB through,
Yeah, we wanted
Made
to
a
have a first
decision
floor
by them.
apartment, that's why we presented, but due to the ARB, they made us have a 612 pitch roof, and so we moved the apartment upstairs.
And initially, you didn't intend to have 2 floors.
Oh, no, because it's more
So,
expensive, and we
it's-
didn't want it.
So in all these iterations, changes have been made, basically, because the town required it on some level. So, and that's part of the, I think, the miscommunication. I just have to say that because this has gone on a long time, we understand that, but I think we're trying to figure out why there are levels of miscommunication that, and I'm not saying dishonesty, I'm saying miscommunication.
Yeah, we understand that, and I know that the second floor, but honestly, it was a surprise when we had to get the second floor. We didn't think we were going to have to get a bigger roof. Well, that costs more money. Let's try to move all the apartment and everything we have and have the floor space on the first floor to maximize to try to offset.
That's where the liaison with Connor would have been handy, since he's not on this anymore.
Correct.
all right, any other comments?
Good.
Yep. All right, well, thank you very much. All right, so this will be on our regular scheduled meeting, January 3rd, for a public hearing then. All right, thank you. All right, let's move on. Town council update, sir.
We didn't have a real productive meeting last time. We didn't really have anything. We went into executive session on additional issue, but I don't recall, and I got to tell you, I had some notes at home, but I don't recall anything in particular from town council. It was a short meeting.
Okay.
The major discussion item was the police department paying. Principal
Oh,
Connor.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
That was the
The
major.
computer issue with the, with the police department, and it had to deal with us being, our police department being on the same system as Prince William County, if you will. So that was an issue, but that got resolved.
Okay.
So, thank you.
And I know Officer O'Neill's been switched to days, and he was the main liaison between our town and the Prince William, because basically more happens at night than during the day, so. All right, well, very good. ARB, we probably don't have any update because we don't have an official person. I don't really think there's been a whole lot gone on with the ARB here of late.
We just had a work session on gateway signs and then typical home improvement applications.
Right.
Emily, are you at all the ARB meetings?
I am, yes.
And I'm just going to throw this out there, if we don't have anyone who could do it, is it possible that Emily could be a spokesperson? Let me just put that out.
I guess we
can-
would have to check
I'll
the
check our
bylaws to make
guidelines
sure
and-
that's permissible. It's a good idea if it's permissible.
I'll check on that and give you guys an update.
Not to land everything on you, but.
But I am here.
But now
She
that you-
has the
now that you have a-
information.
yeah, now that you
So-
have a master's, that
Yeah,
means
thank
we can work even harder, right? Congrats.
Soon to be Dr. Emily.
Raise too?
You get another title.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the town planner update, since we're already tasking you to begin with, so.
So, kind of the typical things since we spoke last. I did receive 2 one-mile review applications. One is for the James Madison Marketplace to put a Home Depot in on the other side of the Walmart. This is the 3rd submission, so I think you guys might have probably heard about it before. After reviewing it, I don't see really any big issues we would have. They're proposing another light beyond the one that you come in and out of the Walmart there. So it'd be just beyond that. They would have another light in there. Typical sidewalk improvements, all of that information. So I do have it here if you guys care to look at it after a meeting or anything. I can give you kind of the rundown on it. And I also received one for Woodbourne Preserve. This was over, if you go down Carolina to Thoroughfare Road, it's kind of closer on the 15 side. After reviewing this one, the only issues that I really see with it is maybe some increased traffic on Jefferson to Old Carolina, kind of going in the back way if they don't go in 15. There is an exit and an entrance on Thoroughfare Road, both of which can be accessed, Old Carolina and Route 15. So I also have this one here. Comments for the Home Depot one are due tomorrow, but that one I don't see any issues for us. If you guys would like to look at the Thoroughfare one, I do have until the 27th to do comments. And I think
Is that in our corporate limits?
it's 1 mile out.
Outside, okay, that's what.
So what exactly are they proposing to do there?
So they're proposing to put in a subdivision, 107 single-family detached dwelling units. This is the 4th submission. They've merged it with Dominion Hunt. And so it's a semi-rural residential cluster. They are kind of gearing it more towards 1-acre lots. They've gone through it a couple times. They want to have a really big kind of natural conservation area on the side closest to Route 15.
Where it's currently a conservation site
Yes.
with the 2 gravel parking areas and the walk path and the
Yes.
mallard ponds and the beaver, and we were just over there the other day. So they're going to
They're going
maintain
to
all that?
maintain all of that and then put in the dwelling units. If you're going down Route 15 towards 29, the preserve is kind of right there, Route 15 and Thoroughfare. The residential would all be to the left, closer to the Carolina Road side. So, like I was saying, the only issues that I really see affecting us is traffic through town, kind of as a cut through, maybe to get to Gainesville, to get to Haymarket, just kind of traffic. And how our roads already, a lot of potholes. We have the speed hump back there, the railroad. So this might further damage our road. I don't know. So
They will have an entrance from the 15.
they will have an entrance from 15, so they can turn off of 15 onto Thoroughfare Road, and then the 2 entrances to the neighborhood will be there. But Thoroughfare does go all the way to Carolina, Old Carolina.
Just as a long shot, if this project gets approved, which basically they give us a 1 mile update as a courtesy, it's outside of our jurisdiction. Is there any possibility within that plan that they can make 4 lanes so it doesn't pinch down to 2 at the railroad track, and then, you know what I'm talking about down here where it just goes into 1 lane? Is there any way to talk to folks to see if it could potentially be 4 lanes all the way out? Because you add another 107 homes in there, plus Home Depot, which is going to attract people. It's going to move really well off this divergent diamond,
And then bottleneck.
and it's
down
going to
there.
bottleneck.
I think that would be a VDOT question. I don't
You're
know.
talking about Home 15 itself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're looking now, they've actually been doing the surveys for the bridge, for a bridge over
Over
the
top of
railroad
it.
tracks. They're actually doing surveys for that now, but I think that project is several years at a minimum down the road. I think they're waiting, well, that's a project in itself, and, but I think they're waiting somewhere down the road. This is just speculation. Because of the cost of the hot lanes, somewhere down the road, I'm certainly not a gambler, but I think they're going to end up looking at VRE again out in this area because of the price.
Well,
There's a
with
couple of the-
$42 at peak time the other day,
44 the other day, it got up to 44, so,
like 14 miles one way.
so there, you know, this was one of our previous politicians who's no longer, he was voted out, but he brought up a good point. Well, even Pete Canlin and them, with the price of the hot lanes, people are going to get fed up with that. And they're thinking that VRE has a lot better shot. No guarantee, because VRE has not said they're going to, but I think they're going to take another look at it in a couple of years.
Well, they had that study, they dumped a lot of money. I mean, they could
Yeah.
easily resurrect that study.
So,
Okay.
but I know they have been doing the survey to see what it would take for the bridge over the railroad tracks.
That would affect, though, that development. I mean, in terms of the timing, as that's being built, and then they have to go back later and do a bridge, would it not? Wouldn't there be an inherent conflict there?
That bridge, I believe, is going to be, the development's further down. Do you know where Villages of Piedmont is?
Yes.
Okay, so it's further down on the left. So I don't think that it'll affect it too much in the construction and the entrance and exit. But getting in and out and
You would
building
certainly
and
hope it's a
stuff.
four-lane bridge.
Yeah.
Because it's going to bottleneck big time if it's not. But again, I'm going to actually, in my other hat, try to get a little more update on that so I can brief everybody on it.
All right.
Would that, the reserve, the Woodburn Reserve, also have sidewalks, et cetera, into town and out of town?
I don't believe so. I think that mainly they're doing the trails within the preserve, and then it's about maybe half mile over there. So I don't think they're going to do walking paths all the way down Route 15 into town, or any cut-throughs, because the cut-throughs would come over North Fork into kind of the industrial area.
Right, it's too bad because it would enhance the town.
It really
To have
would.
more
Nice.
pedestrian traffic, and it would enhance businesses and also both biking and walking.
Yeah,
Yes,
make a nice little greenway.
it would
kind
be
of
a
into
great
it.
greenway.
Yeah.
And then, I guess the last question on this, at least for me, the 230 kilovolt power line, I've read a lot about that, where it's potentially being rerouted back to the State Corporation Commission for another route. So how would any sense of, because that was going to be their main route, which would basically cut through this new proposed neighborhood, correct?
I believe so, back there off Carver Road
Right.
across. The last I heard that it might go back to the state corporation, but that they were looking more at 66, but I can get you a better update January 3rd.
I know the County Board of Supervisors voted down the substation, which is, I would just be curious.
I think part of what they're looking at again is also, do they really need this to come through here? Is it going to be that big of an impact? Will the business really need all this?
Right,
So,
And
okay.
it is the business, it's not the population of Haymarket.
correct. It's the specific
Yeah.
business that they're gearing this towards.
I do have one other thing. The park and ride on the other side of 66, they're going to start in the springtime, and they're anticipated to be done by the fall.
Oh, okay, good, that's good.
And where's that going to go?
Just on the other side of the Divergent Diamond by Heathcote. You'll enter from Heathcote.
Okay.
And how many,
I don't recall exactly how many. We did a walk around of the Divergent Diamond, looking at issues in the post-punch list, if you will. And Tina Brigante Gunn told me that they've already got contract, everything signed. They're going to They're going to start building in the spring. They're going to actually be entering off of 15 to do the work, and they're going to work inside out.
And is that a free parking ride, as most are?
Far as I know, yeah. I'm going to be maintaining it, my Gainesville area headquarters, so it's supposed to be free, so like any of the other parking rides.
And then I had a question, any updates on the fairgrounds? I know that last time,
So we are discussing with the developer currently. They came and had a staff meeting with us a couple weeks ago. I am going to have another staff meeting with them on Wednesday, so I'll have a better update on the 3rd. But on January 8th, they do plan to present to the town council. Anyone who would like to come is welcome. You'd be there as audience members, but you're more than welcome to come and see their presentation.
and then when you go in front of the museum, there's been a light down for quite a while.
Yes, the light was hit by a vehicle, and so we're working with their insurance company, and we, I believe, have the light ordered and are going to get that fixed shortly.
And the last thing is there's a pedestrian crossing down 55, right near Chick-fil-A, but it's basically a target zone for pedestrians. The cars do not slow down. It's dreadful. Is there any way we could get some sort of light or some way to protect people's lives? It's terrible.
I think we can probably look at getting, the signs that are further down this
Yes.
way? Maybe we could see about putting one in so that maybe having it.
There is a sign there with an arrow pointing right to the crosswalk, and nobody notices it.
Okay,
But-
What we need, I think, would be flashing lights.
flashing lights.
I'm down there, Oak Carolina, what they have down there.
Yes. I mean, we were there today, and we thought of you. Said, we need flashing lights there. And another place, not for walking, why do we not have a right turn lane heading west on 55 before Cat Harpin Road? Coming down that bridge, from the bridge. You
Yeah,
have,
and it looks like there's right-of-way there, enough right-of-way. I don't know, that's something I can bring up. And to see, a lot of times it has to deal with the right-of-way, and as long as there's no utility relocations. But it gets backed up there good.
It
And
was
really
backed up
backed
so
up
that you
today.
can't take a left
Yeah.
on 29 heading to 66
Yeah.
because the traffic coming from Linton Hall over the bridge just keeps coming until, whoops, there is no room.
I can bring that up, but that's what's outside the town limits. Let me see if I can get a readout on that to see what the possibility of that is.
Okay.
That would be great, Steve.
Anything else?
I have, yes, one last update. We discussed it very, very briefly at the last town council meeting, but this coming year, 2018, is kind of time for our comprehensive plan update. So I believe they put aside some money in the budget to work on this. I'm going to discuss with staff and decide our kind of best course of action, how we want to proceed, but might need some work sessions and things like that to work on updating our comp plan.
And the last question, the Mexican, the taqueria, I probably don't have the name, at
Yeah.
BBT.
Unfortunately, I did hear back from Miguel, and they are currently not able to come to town due to some funding with hooking up to Service Authority, so that's been tabled for now. He still would love to be part of our town and is still kind of keeping his eye out for open buildings and stuff so that he can come in, but it was the hookup to Service Authority that really was costly.
Just to hook up.
So,
It's, and the Service Authority, I'm telling you, he was with Vita, a lot of things we did, they give no breaks. They really don't. So,
That's that.
but, yeah.
And the public hearing, I guess to bother you once more, I know not everybody in town uses internet. it would be nice to be able to really advertise them with some sort of a digital sign outside, as well as internet, as well as the Haymarket, as well as the Facebook
Right.
page, but in many modalities is really what I'm saying, so that we can reach people in town whether they use digital or not.
So glad you mentioned that. Shelley and I are going to work on that probably first thing tomorrow. These signs over here against the wall are our nice public notice signs that we're going to go stake in the ground so that, like you said, people who don't use the internet or maybe just are driving through can check it
Great.
out. So we certainly are going to do that. They have been posted in all the newspapers per our ordinance, and then also anybody who has a budding property or adjacent has been mailed a certified letter.
Awesome. I mean, I
So-
think maybe our ordinance needs updating, because I don't know how many people read newspapers.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
terrible thing to say, but,
That's
Most don't.
yeah.
yeah, we follow Virginia code, and that's
Yeah.
what they still have. So, but we're definitely going to put these out.
Super.
All right.
Any update on the sidewalk on Carolina Road, up to from here to Hitco Bluebird?
No update yet. I believe that's going to be part of our site plans here to connect Jefferson Street all the way up to the bridge. On
No,
this
after
side.
bridge.
After the bridge, no update on that.
That's really important. I see lots of people, they're walking on the side, car air is pushing them side of the road. This is very important. We have to get down that ASAP.
Yeah, it is a public safety issue.
Yeah, yeah.
As well as the area, I know it's outside our town limits, but the new Catharpin Bridge, and then you come into Haymarket, and it's absolutely dreadful for anybody walking along. There's no safe area to walk.
I mean, if we need to go for county, we love to go, but we, if this out of our limit in, this sidewalk, if we need to go to county, I love to go in there. If
It's going to be a county issue. It's not going to be a VDOT issue, I can tell you. VDOT's not going to put it in.
And
The county would have to start with them, and the same thing, I was going to go back to this turn lane up here, because I agree, needs to go in. That's really something that, I can drive it from to find out, but something that you ought to get with the county too, Pete Canlin or whoever, somebody from the county, because they have, Dick Burke, who works for us, he's our Director of Land Use Development. He has a budget too, not a big budget, to help do those kind of things, but so does the county. The county does things for road improvements and stuff like that. If that's something that the county really supported, county may even fund that.
Okay.
So I would just recommend, because I agree with you, Maureen, it needs to go in, that you just run that through the county first, put something in writing to them, asking them what the feasibility of that is.
And I think, too, this is where we've tried several times to have our walking tour. We just start at one end of the town and walk the whole town and take photographs and maybe come up with our own PowerPoint presentation to send to some of these folks. But I know we're just going to have to wait probably till April till the weather.
We might have a warm winter, so maybe we can rediscuss in February, but right now they're predicting warmer than average, so maybe we can just bundle up a little and do it in the daylight if we can do it even during the day or one weekend.
Okay.
Do it on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday morning or something.
yeah,
We could join the mayor and do walk a mile with the mayor and have it as part of that too.
Today's what's today, the 18th?
18th.
3 days, the days start getting longer.
Yes.
21st,
is
shortest
true.
day of the year. But I also want to bring, and I brought this up to, I think, the mayor too. We have some curbs that are busted. You and I talked about that too. I need to identify those.
I
So
am
I'm gonna-
planning to
I'm going to get those fixed.
get that done.
That is a
ASAP.
VDOT issue. That
And
will
the-
make happen.
I'm sorry to interrupt, I thought you were finished, but there's also some sidewalk issues. You can see where some of the bricks are missing or broken, and that shouldn't be. And the adjacent cement, I don't know what it's called, to the sidewalk.
The approach.
Yes, those are crumbling, and those sidewalks are too new to have these flaws.
of Dottie's house.
Yes.
And
It's,
unfortunately, all the brick is the town. It's not VDOT. It's 100% the town.
so whoever they hired to do that basically owes the town honest day's work and doing it right, I think. 'Cause
Fortunately, we got a lot of these replaced out here because of the water main that was broken, the water.
Okay.
But that's one of the things I will tell you that I checked when I first came in, moved into Haymarket, and assumed my position where I'm at now in charge of Prince William was I was given the letter and said, every brick is the town of Haymarket, because the town of Haymarket assumed that. That's above and beyond what VDOT would have done. We don't recommend those type of things because it's a high dollar maintenance. But for whatever reason, whoever, in the town said, yeah, we're going to do them. And we said, that's fine, because we have the same thing in Middleburg, when I was out in Loudon, they did it. But the town assumes the responsibility for all repairs, with exception of the curbs. The curbs that are busted are my responsibility, wearing my other hat. So, and that's going to get taken care of.
Yeah, those sidewalks are going to just continue to be an issue ongoing because they're set in sand, and the sand moves around, so
Rains, things like that, they all impact.
freeze, thaw, it's gonna,
but I have to say, I think they're beautiful, and I think they're distinctive for the town.
right,
I mean, it's, it's like so many things in life, there's pluses and minuses.
double-edged sword with that thing.
Yes.
All right, well, I appreciate your updates. Anything else? Let's just go around. Sir, anything else?
No, everything, nothing. So whatever we discussed, that's it.
All right,
Nothing else.
all right, thank you, sir. Ma'am?
No, I think, can't think of anything right now.
Sir?
Congratulations to Emily on completing her master's.
Thank you.
And thank you again for the job you did in going through the tapes.
Sir?
Just, again, thanks to not only our staff here, but to all of y'all. And it's, I accepted that role on the town council because, I love our little town, our little walkabout here. I love it. And certainly enjoy watching it grow and having, all of us having something to say about how it grows. And other than that, I just wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Yep, you too.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we appreciate your work and all you all, and hope you have, again, a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year with your families, and Kathy, if you're listening out there, you and Joe somewhere, same to you all, and please keep those people in your thoughts and prayers in that horrific train. I understand that was the maiden voyage of that train, and I really haven't researched a whole lot, but a lot of tragedy. So with that said, if there's nothing else, I like a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Good night.
All right, good
Thank
night.
you.
It's still only 21 minutes before.